So hello everyone. Today we are going to see our next unit, that is welding process. Okay. So welding process is also known as a joining process. Okay. So if we see, there are many methods are there for joining process. That is first one, that is by using a mechanical fastening. That means by using the screws, nut bolts, rivets, by using by these means we can join the different parts. Okay. And next one, that is the welding process, that is welding, soldering, brazing techniques, which used to normally join similar and dissimilar metals. Okay. And also by using a adhesive, that is which can be used for joining the different materials. Okay. So the welding is a material joining process in which two similar or dissimilar metals with or without application of heat, with or without application of filler material, and with or without application of pressure, the joining process of the welding is there. Okay, so it is a process of joining of similar or dissimilar metals with or without application of heat, with or without application of filler material, and with or without application of pressure. Okay, so welding is used for making a permanent joint. Remember, welding process is a permanent joining process is there. If you see the fasteners, that is not a permanent joining. You can remove the fasteners and you can remove that joint. So it is temporary joining process, but this welding is permanent joining process is there. So the here you can see the which the welding can be used in the manufacture of automobile bodies, railway wagons, machine frames, structural works, boilers, shipbuildings. At various places, this welding process uses. Okay, and the final part that is obtained by the joining is known as the weldment. Okay, weldment results in a homogeneous material and usually has some composition characteristics as that of the two parts with which joining is done. Okay, so some welding processes are require only heat, and some welding processes are there while they require heat and pressure also. In some other process, the external filler material is also required to obtain the mixing. So there are some advantages and disadvantages of welding process. So let us say advantages of welding. So welding produces the permanent joint. Next, welded joint can become stronger than parent materials if filler metal is used and it has superior properties. Okay. Next, in terms of use of material and fabrication cost, the welding is the most economical way of joining metals. Okay. Next, welding can be done in a factory environment and also in field also. Okay, because in nowadays you can see that some portable welding machine is there, so that you can carry it anywhere. So it is a movable, so you can also carry it on the field to join the metals. Okay, and the welding process can be a mechanized. So these are the advantages of welding process. Now see the limitations of welding process. So the limitation is that the skilled operator is required. Okay, and high energy is used during welding process. Also, no convenience of disassembly, and welded joints have certain defects of quality which are difficult to detect. Welding creates the distortion and stresses in the joint. Okay, because there is a change in a physical, chemical, and structural is there. Okay, and whatever the radiations are there, like light, fumes, spatters, these are harmful. So these are some limitations of welding process, and These are the safety equipments while which uses while doing the welding. Okay. Now let us see the types of welding process. There are different types of welding process, but the major two types are, that is, fusion welding process and non-fusion welding process. So fusion welding process, here you can see that in this process heat is used to melt the metal which is to be joined, and filler metal is generally used to add the metal and to facilitate the process and give the strength to the welded joint. Okay, and next, that is non-fusion welding process. If the joint is produced either without melting of parent material or with application of pressure, is called as a non-fusion welding process. Also, apart from this, you are aware of different types of weld joint. That is, the welding process can produce a weld joint which is a junction of edges or surfaces, and the different types of joints are like butt joint, lap joint, T joint, edge joint, corner joint. These joints you have already seen. Okay, and apart from these, there are also some types of welds are there like fillet weld, groove weld, plug weld, spot weld, seam weld. Such different welds are there. Okay, so here the gas welding is there, arc welding is also there. So let us say about anyone that is welding, that is arc welding. Okay, so this arc welding is a fusion welding process. The mixing of metals is achieved by heat from an electric arc between electrode and work. Okay, so you can see over here, and the work material which is to be joined from one electrode and the other electrode, either consumable or non-consumable electrode, can be used over here. Okay, and also apart from this, the power supply is here. Here you can see this is a power supply. This is either AC or DC which is available. Okay, and here in the arc welding, to initiate arc, the electrode is, whatever the electrode is there, this electrode is brought into the contact with the work and then quickly separated from it by a short distance, 3 to 6 mm. Okay, so there is a flow of electrons, that is the discharge of electric current across the gap in the circuit. Okay, and the electrical energy thus formed produces the temperature, okay, which is around 5500 degrees Celsius or sometimes more. So this is sufficient to melt any metal. Okay, so a pool of molten metal consists of the base metals, filler materials, and is found near tip of electrode. Okay, and in most arc welding processes, okay, in most arc welding processes, filler material is added during the operation to increase the volume and strength of a welded joint. Okay, and whatever this electrode is there, this electrode is moved along the joint, and the molten weld pool, whatever the molten weld is there, this molten weld pool cools and solidifies. Okay, so this movement of electrode related to work is either done by human means or by the automatic means. Most of the times we are seeing that the human means. Okay, and the welding circuit, which consists of a welding machine, that is, here you can see it consists of a welding machine, lead cable, electrode holder, electrode, and workpieces there. Okay, so first, that is regarding electrode. So these are classified as consumable and non-consumable electrodes. So the consumable electrode provides the filler metal and in metal in arc welding. Okay, so consumable electrodes provide filler metal in arc welding. They are available in the form of rods or sticks and wire. So these rods are 9.5 mm or less in diameter, and it is having the length, that is 225 mm to 450 mm length is there. And the non-consumable electrodes are made up of tungsten. They do not melt by arc. Okay, so the filler metal, if required, has to be supplied by separate wire by proper composition. Okay, in non-consumable electrodes. Now next, the arc. So the temperature after arc is formed is high. The metal at this temperature becomes reactive to oxygen, nitrogen, and hydrogen in air. The mechanical properties which are seriously affected by this reaction. Okay, so to protect welding from this, the shielding around the arc is required. This is accomplished by covering an electrode tip arc and molten weld hood with envelope of gas or flux or both, which prevent the exposure of weld metal to an air. Okay, this is about the arc, and next that is about the flux. So as the flux is the substance to prevent the formation of oxides and other unwanted contaminants. So unwanted substances dissolve in the flux and float in a molten metal pool. So they can be removed easily after solidification. So this is known as a slag removal. Okay, and the fluxes are also useful for protective atmosphere or welding. Stabilization of R and the reduction of spatter is important. Okay, so if we see the power source is there over here. So here, the direct current as well as indirect currents are used in arc welding. In DC machine, the work is positive and the electrode is negative. Okay, this is straight polarity. So here, the more heat is generated at work and deep penetration of welding part which joint is achieved. And if plates that are to be joined have less thickness and it is desired to have more deposition of electrodes in the welding joint, then reverse polarity may be used. And in AC machines, they are less expensive to purchase and are so operate but are restricted to welding of ferrous metals. Okay, so the DC equipment can be used on all metals with good result and is generally noted by a better arc control. So this is what about arc welding. So today we are going to stop for here. Thank you.